As ready as I'll be.
Questions? Adrian, can you maybe just describe what it means to you to have that honor as a captain and kind of how you found out that honor to be yours?
Yeah, well, the Boneyard Bash, I found out the same time pretty much everyone did, the students, the team, and it's an honor and something that means more to me than anything that's happened so far in my career here. I mean, it's a huge deal for me, and to be voted by your brothers as a captain is a big deal.
To be a sophomore and to be named the club captain, what does that mean, being an underclassman, being chosen?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even look at it as me being an underclassman, and I think the rest of my teammates don't either. And that's something I appreciate a lot, just my ability to step in and them accept me as a leader despite me only being a sophomore.
A year ago at this time, 6 days before the first game, maybe your comfort level might have been a certain thing. How is it today going into your second year? You feel like you're completely comfortable now?
I would say so, yes. It's night and day difference. Last year was a lot different than this, and a lot more comfortable with what we're doing on offense and just what I'm seeing out there from the defense. And it's year two, and I'm excited for this next opportunity to get out there and show what we've been working on.
How much faster can this offense go, and what might fans see from this offense that they maybe didn't get to see year one in terms of the speed with which you guys can move and the variety of plays you guys can?
Yeah, well, I'll say this. At the beginning of last year, I think we were a little bit limited just because of how much we knew as a team. I don't think we were ready, and I think this upcoming season, the sky's the limit with Coach Frost as a play caller, and I think he's confident in us to execute a variety of different plays and formations and whatever else.
Adrian, Cam Jurgens has been kind of in and out at in and out at center. How's your connection with him since he's kind of just getting back, and what would you say about him kind of working his way to that top line despite the injuries?
Yeah, well, Cam's a fighter, as well as the rest of that offensive line, and that's a spot I'm not worried about whatsoever. Coach G, he does a great job with those guys, and I know whoever's playing, no matter what, they're going to get in there and fight for the team. Will Farniak's been doing a great job too, and Cam's had to overcome a lot. So I'm just real proud of those guys in there, and I know he'll be ready.
Picking up on that first question, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've been getting dodged sometimes.
Kind of picking up on that speed question, what do you hope that the offense showed? We've had such limited options or chances to watch you. What do you hope to showcase Saturday about what this team can do and has evolved since?
Yeah. Well, I think our goal as an offense is pretty clear. We're trying to be the best offense in the Big Ten, best offense in the country, and part of that is using tempo when we need it, and sometimes slowing it down to get in the right play, right formations, whatever it may be. But I think everyone's just a lot more comfortable with what we're running this year. I think we've made the coaches more confident in us as players because we know what we're doing.
Hey, Adrian, last year at this time you hadn't played a college football game yet. You're the most productive freshman in the country last year among quarterbacks, and now you're a captain. I mean, what do you make of all that's happened in just the 1 year that you've been here?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough question. Not something I really spend too much time thinking about. In my mind, it's all great, and it's all very humbling, and it does mean a lot to me, but my work here is not done. It's not finished. I feel like haven't even reached the surface yet. There's a lot more that we as a team want to accomplish that I want to accomplish, and I think that we're going to do that. So when it's all said and done here, I think that'll be the time for me to look back and reflect on those things. But in the moment right now, I'm focused on this season and just accomplishing what we can now.
Are you ahead of schedule if from when you came in, what you had hoped to accomplish? Are you where you thought you'd be? Are you ahead of where you thought you would be?
I would say, one of my goals was just to start, become a leader, and I've definitely marked some of those things off my checklist there, but there's a lot more. we didn't do as well as I wanted to last year, and I think that's something that we still need to get after this year.
Adrian, Scott a couple times has complimented the way that Maurice has been dialed in camp and the camp he's had. You came in with him. What have you seen from him over camp, and what's he like, I guess, as a teammate on the ball?
Yeah, very energetic, has a lot of energy out there on the field, and he's right. You know, Maurice has brought it this fall camp and just practiced so far, and he's been doing a great job. You know, a great job of just bringing it every day, learning the plays better, and just being a good teammate. And you know, I think the guys respect him for that, coming to work every day and putting his all on the field.
As a quarterback, they talk about, especially in the NFL, you'll hear quarterbacks talking about the game has to slow down. Did you ever feel like that last year where the game had to slow down for you, and now it's finally there and you feel like you're in complete control?
Yeah, I would say so. There was a point last year, you know, where I thought things started to slow down for me, and then even this spring and this fall camp, you know, it's been a continued process, and I think it'll always be that way. You know, each year I'll try and get a little bit better and have the game, you know, quote unquote, slow down for me, and really that's just knowing what I'm doing on my side of the ball, being able to see the defensive structure a little bit better, and just continuing to build on that.
Adrian, we've only seen a little bit of Wandale Robinson. He's named the starter wide receiver today. What can you tell us about him that makes him so good to earn a starting spot on this team?
Yeah. Well, he's battled through a lot since he's been here already, and the guys respect him. They love him. He comes to work whenever he can, and he's a great route runner, very fast. You know, I can't say enough good things about him, obviously. And I'm excited to see him out there on Saturday in front of 90,000.
What's Mario like on game days, and what are your interactions with him like between series?
Well, you know, as you probably noticed, I'm always on the headset between series, and you know, we're going over whether it may be the last plays, you know, whether it might be the upcoming series, whatever's happening in the game. But I would say it's probably a little bit different than it is in practice. Our game day routine, he kind of just leaves us alone and lets us do our own thing before the game. It's a little bit different, but he's always just trying to make sure that we're dialed in, the team's fired up, ready to go, and we're doing our job at the best we can.
Would you characterize Mario as calm?
Yeah, I would say so. On game days, you know, practice might be a little bit different, you know, at times.
Adrian, you've got to see the defense perform every day. I mean, what do you think your fans are going to see from this year's defense?
Well, they're going to see a group that plays with passion, a group that's confident, and they're going to fly around and get all 11 hats to the ball. You know, and I'm excited to see him too. You know, I'm really pumped up. I think we're going to have a well-rounded team.
Adrian, what did you think about Austin Allen's evolution camp and how much strides he's made?
Yeah, there's no question. Austin has done a great job this fall camp, and you know, has really done a good job just turning into the tight end that I think we all knew he could be. He's a real tall guy and has a ton of potential, and real excited to see him too this year. You know, just continue to progress and be another option for us out there.
Adrian, you guys were, from a passing standpoint last year, pretty dependent on two receivers to catch passes. Mm-hmm. How has that changed over the last 9 months in your work with a deeper group of receivers, running backs as receivers? You just mentioned a tight end. How different do you feel it can be with the way that you spread the ball around?
Yeah, I think it will be different this year. Like you said, our receiver room is a little bit deeper this year. We have a ton of guys who can play, and I think that's going to be good for them too. Part of that's going to be on me as well. You know, last year I didn't spread it around as much. Maybe I should have. But we have Jack Stoll, you know, Conavide, ton of guys on the outside, Wandale and JD. You know, we have a lot of weapons this year on offense, and it should be a different story as far as spreading the ball around.
Adrian, for better or worse, you probably have pretty clear memories of last year's season opener, which would have been your first start, but the game got rained out.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that day?
Well, it was interesting, you know. We kicked it off, ran out there, thought we were going to score a touchdown on the first play, felt great about it. And then had to go back in the locker room. I didn't end up taking off my pads until probably 11 o'clock at night. You know, I was still hoping that we were going to play. The real downer about that for me was just my family was there. Only game that my entire family was there. You know, my little brother, little sister. You know, knock on wood, they're coming to this game too. So hopefully I'll get to play in front of my brother again. It's been a while. You know, he saw me when I was a junior in high school, and that was the last time. So.
Do you think back to that game ever and like what could have been that night, like momentum wise?
No. It is what it is. You know.
Adrian, what are your thoughts about South Alabama and the season opener?
Yeah. Well, we're excited. We're really excited to play them. It's going to be a fun game. And they're a good football team. You know, they're going to run around, fly to the ball, get a lot of hats in. You know, we're excited to play them, and it's going to be a fun season opener.
Got to ask, last year, the season started the way it did. Do you feel, being a captain now and a starting quarterback, a lot of pressure to make sure there's no repeat of last year to start the season?
I wouldn't say pressure is the right word. I think all of us realize we don't want the start that we had last year, and that doesn't even something I don't even really think about right now in this moment, because it was something that has been driving us all off season. No one wants to go back to that. And in my mind, we won't. I know a lot of guys on this team won't let that happen, and that's why we're so excited for the start of this season. You know, we get another chance to do things the right way.
Yeah, I know Darian's on the other side of the ball, but being named a captain, having only been here 8 months, is a pretty big accomplishment for him. What have you seen kind of watching him and how that defense has gravitated around him?
Yeah, it was something you could probably figure out within months of him being there. In spring ball, you could just tell there's a different feel, and I think he's a huge part of that confidence that the defense has gained. They respect him a lot, and there's a reason. You know, he always brings it. He's a great vocal leader, and he's a good football player, you know. And I think it speaks volumes to the type of man he is and the type of player he'll be this season.
All right, thank you, Adrian. Thanks, Adrian. Good segue, we'll bring Adrian in next. Oh, hey, man.